wanna get my money back. You're like a bottle of booze in a paper sack, kissing me in that Cadillac. You're like a robbery that turned out bad. Could've made it out alive with the love we had, but it's all gone bad and I won't come back, baby, ain't that sad?
All right, Toa Green. I mean, there are a lot of great ice cream and dessert shops in Lexington, but Crank and Boom is really a staple to Lexington. And I know it started from the Thai Orchid Cafe. So how do we get from the Thai Orchid Cafe to here?
Right. Well, one of the questions I get the most is, how on earth did you get into ice cream? Because I didn't dream as a little kid to become an ice cream lady,
right.
But here we are. But I've grown up in restaurants. My family has always been in restaurants. And so I was part of that world from a very young age. And I eventually I left Kentucky to go to school and swore I'd never come back to Kentucky and that I would never work in food ever again. And here we are.
Been there, been there.
Yeah, so you just never know where life will take you. But we had a restaurant with my parents, my husband and I, and eventually as they were gonna retire out of the business, we purchased the business from them and decided to start doing something fun as a dessert option. And I really love coconut ice cream, like the ones that they have in Thailand, on the street everywhere. And I really wanted to have that as an option in our restaurant and thought, Thai food and coconut ice cream, that's a perfect melding. So I purchased a $60 Cuisinart maker online on Amazon and watched some YouTube videos and found some recipes online and figured out how to make my very first batch of ice cream back in 2011. And just started making coconut ice cream as an option. And we were already going to the farmer's market for our restaurant. And as I was there, I thought, why don't I pick up some fun ingredients to throw into an ice cream? And that's how some of our more unique flavors came about. Sweet potato pie, coffee stout, blackberry and buttermilk. Those were kind of our original really cool flavors that we still have today. And that's kind of where it started. And people started coming into our restaurant asking about the homemade ice cream instead of the Thai food. And eventually we said, well, if there's enough interest in this ice cream thing, what if we got a little cart and sold it at the farmer's market? And now here we are today, almost, over a decade later.
From a Cuisinart
Yep.
to 2 courts to pop-ups.
I know.
To now 2 brick and mortars.
2 brick and mortars.
Nationally selling it. And one of the things I love and kind of a lot of the conversations we've been having surrounding Kentucky and in Lexington is the agriculture aspect of it. And you touched on the farmer's market. So how important was it for you to kind of have that Kentucky influence as well as Thai influence in creating Crank and Boom?
Right. I mean, it was everything. I think what I was really interested in was creating this value system where, what if we created this ice cream company that bought, supplies and ingredients from local farmers. And as we grew, what if they grew too? And what would that mean for our local economy, for our local food economy? What would it mean for those local farmers? I love farmers and I love what they do. It's such hard work and it's such amazing work. And we have such a great agricultural culture here in Kentucky. So I really wanted to highlight that and really wanted to make sure that we were trying to source as much locally as we could. And honestly, like when you are getting supplies from a local farmer and you know them, you know where it's coming from, it really means a lot more. And most of the time it tastes a whole lot better. Yeah. So it was really important to have that as a part of our story and have it continue to be a part of our story so that, we're always creating these value systems where if we get to grow and succeed, we get to bring people along with us.
And that's really what I have loved and appreciated about seeing your journey and how Crank and Boom is growing, especially with it being so, like you listened to the community. You listened to the community when they were telling you this coconut homemade ice cream is amazing.
Yes.
You're listening to the community when it comes to deciding your flavors. So what really goes into deciding what the flavors are? I feel like you have your finger on the pulse. I remember during the pandemic you did You've done a lot of flavors, kind of given homage to
Yes.
whether it be really community leaders or just people that have been impactful. So what goes into deciding all these fun and original flavors?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's a lot of times it's a spark in the moment. Sometimes we are able to plan seasonally, and we know that around fall time, around Christmas time, or around springtime, these flavors are the flavors that people really look forward to. So those kind of stay on the docket, but then, you know, those other ones that we like to rotate and play around with, we see what's in the moment, what's seasonal, what is, you know, going on in the world. You know, having a Barbie Sunday when the Barbie movie came out, or just, you know, seeing what's going on in culture and in pop culture and in our own community, if it's leaders or, you know, during the pandemic, the governor was giving his daily briefings. And so we named a pint after the governor and raised a bunch of funds for some local nonprofits. So it's always, I feel like our job is to intertwine all of that. We are intertwined the farmers to our product, to our customers. And for us, you know, the people who are in our Crank and Boom family, our team, our vendors, our suppliers, our customers, everybody, that it makes Crank and Boom what it is. You know, if we're able to find an avenue for people to give back that's easy, like buying a pint of ice cream and having it support a local nonprofit or, you know, someone who's doing great things in the community, that's really what we are. We're just here as community builders to try to make Lexington better and really shine light on Kentucky and how amazing it is here.
Yeah, the collaboration aspect is what I really, really enjoy. And I even remember, what was it, just last year when the governor, or a couple of years ago, when the governor came and we announced our breaking $1 billion record in Lexington
tourism.
Yes.
And,
a lot of that is because of you and what you've created. And when I'm really thinking about, like, you started from the Cuisinart and the production side of things, and now you have a full production facility. A lot of times people get things shipped in. So what is the process of making Crank and Boom ice cream?
Right. So the way we make our ice cream is a little different than the average ice cream company, which I think is why it is so good. And it really, when people come and they say, you know, this is the best ice cream I've ever had, that is like the greatest compliment, right? That's the greatest thing anyone could say to us. But we use a 14% premium, super premium ice cream base, which we formulated when we started this whole thing from a supplier. And we get that mix in and we try to incorporate as many local ingredients as we can. We have a farmer, Van Meter Family Farm out in Western Kentucky. They literally grow a crop for us. They ask us about, you know, when they start planting, how much we anticipate, and we say we're gonna need a little more, or we're about what we need last year, and they grow a crop for us, and we're able to get those strawberries in and keep them all year long in the freezer so we can have fresh product all year long. But we try to incorporate as many fresh ingredients as we can. Sometimes other companies that make ice cream, they have a base and they have a flavoring and a coloring and you mix it together and it's the same all the time. But for us, since we do use a lot of fresh ingredients, peaches, strawberries, those kind of things, as well as we make so much of our inclusions that we put. So if it's a brownie, if it's a blondie, if it is some other cheesecake crumb, our chocolate sauce, all those things we make ourselves. And so it takes a lot of craftsmanship to create the ice cream. So we actually have one guy who actually has been with us since we were at Tiorca. He used to actually run the restaurant when I was gone. He would run the kitchen. So he and I have worked together for, you know, almost 12 years.
Wow.
And we have, our palates, I say, are very calibrated. So those creations that we made back then, he knows exactly how to make them, and he tastes every single batch that goes through our processing. And that's why we're able to stay consistent. That's why we're able to make a product that is so good all the time, because we have that one guy who tastes all of that. But we have a whole team of amazing people at our production facility who make these orders happen. They make this ice cream happen, and they have all this creativity around all the flavors that we have.
Yeah, he's kind of like what you would relate in the bourbon industry.
That's right. He is. He's like the master ice cream maker.
The master taste for Crank and Boom.
Absolutely.
But even you've expanded outside of ice cream. Like you just don't get ice cream. You can get it boozy, but then during the holidays, from marshmallows to different seasonal cones, when did you decide to expand? Was that just a natural progression, or how did that come about?
Yeah, when we, decided that we were going to actually open a brick and mortar store, when we were going to open a brick and mortar store, we decided, I was like, I don't want it to just be your average ice cream place. And my inspiration for this space that we're in are two places in Asheville, which, my heart is very much in Asheville in Western North Carolina. But I spent a lot of summers there during my college days. And two of my favorite places, the French Broad Chocolate Lounge and then the Wicked Weed Brewing Company, are two places that I loved. And I said, I love their aesthetics. And I love that this chocolate company, they had drinking desserts and they also had wine and chocolate cake. And I thought, what a cool experience to have a place to go after you had dinner that wasn't just, I'm gonna go grab ice cream or I'm gonna, just have some wine and cheese at the restaurant. I wanna keep the night going and go someplace that feels fun and has a cool vibe and is more than just, getting a scoop in a cone that's brightly lit and white. So I wanted to find a place that felt loungy. And, we're on this couch right now.
It's so comfortable, by the way.
We wanted an ice cream lounge and wanted to have a place where people could come, they could feel like they could stay and have fun and make memories and bring people who are coming out of town. Actually, one of the things I really, my husband and I decided, I said, when we make this place, what we really want is to be on those top 3 spots of places people want to take their friends when they're in town. Because when you go visit somewhere that, you have to go to A, B, and C. It's like, how do we become this cool place where we're always on that list when people are visiting? So a lot of this has been very intentional. We've wanted to create a space where people want to come and want to bring their friends and want to show it off. And I almost feel like it's a love letter to Lexington. Like everything that we love about Lexington is incorporated in the things that we do here.
Yeah, I really think it is a quintessential Lexington experience. My niece loves cranking. They moved away about a year ago. So, but every time she comes back, she's like, can we go to Crank and Boom?
Oh, yay.
And I really think it is a great place for your family and friends to really come together. And when you talk about what you love about Lexington, like what does Toa Green love about Lexington?
Well, I mean, I love that I can walk around town and it feels like home. I'm from Frankfurt, so I'm not from that far away, but it was very stark when I moved away from home that I could have friends and cool experiences and see neat things and all of that, but it just never felt like it is when you're here. And I think what's really special is there are the people that are from here that feel that, but I think people, when they come to visit, they also feel that too. And they feel that they're welcome here and that there's interesting things happening. And, I moved back here in 2004, and it wasn't a while until things really started to kind of change, where you had more people creating these really cool businesses, be it breweries or restaurants. And I feel like there's just a really great creative energy between the arts and food and culture and just the population that comes here. And I just think it's a great place to be.
And it feels genuine. I get that from a lot of visitors too. It's like people are kind and nice, but it feels genuine.
Right.
And I mean, I could definitely relate. I moved away and I'm like, I'm never moving back to Kentucky. But I grew up in Lexington, but moving back, I was just like, there's actually really cool things, cool people,
a lot of neat things happening.
So many like entrepreneurs executing at a high level and really cultivating this experience, which I know isn't easy as an entrepreneur.
Right.
So a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. I know we were talking a little bit before, and I was like, do you create space for yourself now as you're growing? Is it getting easier? Because I know it's been, essentially 10 to 15 years in the making.
Yeah, it's been a long journey, and I think one thing with entrepreneurship that people don't tell you when you get started is that it really is a marathon.
Yeah.
I think you can hustle hard and really hit it and grind it for a while, but after doing that for so many years, you will burn out and want to, sell the farm and move away on an island somewhere, which I have those moments. I definitely have those moments, but I think it's learning things and constantly being open to learning and always being open to growing and changing. And I think that's what we've been really good at, is adapting, because the world obviously has changed so much over the last 12 years, and it will continue to change. And so how do we set ourselves up to still be here, hopefully 20 years from now, and be able to still create memories for the next generation of people. But, for myself, I have 2 little kids, and they help keep me, in a space where I'm not just, because otherwise I really would just be working all the time, because I love it. I honestly love it so much. And I love doing the work that I do. But they help me, detach a little bit and say, there's this other world other than, your workspace. Please come join us. So that has helped a lot. And I think having a great team really helps too. And that hasn't been a simple process, but I'm really proud of our team and really happy to have people alongside us that help create this dream for, for our family and then for the community too.
Yeah, and you've essentially been in a family-run and operated business, created yours for so long. How does that look like for your family's experience and tie into Crank and Boom, as well as just into Lexington overall?
Yeah, I think with us, our family is so tight, and we've grown up in a family business with all the fun eccentricities that come with that, the good, the bad, the ugly. And my husband and I are full-time in the business. We do everything together. We parent, we do work, we live in the same space. So, it's been really great. I think and you work with your family as well.
Oh,
there's
I work
always...
with my twin brother, and that is, I'm glad we only do Soul Feast once a year.
That's right. So, there's certain things that come along with that. But then, on the good side, you've got someone that has your back.
Absolutely.
And is there for the right reasons and is going to be there no matter what. And I think that has been something that has been really crucial to our success, because if it was just me by myself, I just guarantee there was no way that we would still be here. But the fact that we have a family team that makes it happen is what makes it.
You definitely go further together, and like you said, having each other's backs, but you really also have the community's back. I know you kind of mentioned it briefly about some of the collaborations and partnering with nonprofit organizations. What sparked for you to even do that? Having certain flavors based on the charities that you're giving back to, and it's something that is already kind of integrated in just what Crank and Boom does, and what made you want to even do that?
I mean, honestly, I am a philanthropist at heart. I just have this business to fund my philanthropy, honestly. If I was independently wealthy, I would just do that and do community things. When I was in college, I got involved with Habitat for Humanity and was able to travel with that. And it really sparked something in me that really opened my eyes to the world and to my ability to contribute, even if it's in a small way, if it's in my little Thai restaurant, if it's in our little ice cream company in Lexington. And it really gave me purpose when it came to ice cream. And I thought, what better way to serve the community, not just from serving the ice cream, but we have this vehicle that people love, and we have a platform now that people happen to listen to, and a great community of people who want to give. I mean, ultimately, I think humans want to be there for each other. And if we can find ways to amplify voices or, showcase nonprofits that are doing fantastic work that maybe someone didn't know about before, or they're looking for a way to support and they're not quite sure how to get involved, buying some ice cream is a great way to do it. And I think people feel good about that. Is not only are they supporting family business and a small business, but they're supporting someone that also supports the community. So it's, doing doubly good.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of meeting it, everyone where they are and kind of on all sides. And then when it comes to one of the things that you all are really good at, staying relevant. It's hard for businesses, like you were saying, to feed into pop culture, but still recognize what's happening around them. What advice would you have to those entrepreneurs or businesses or people in general remaining in that progression of sometimes you feel like you have it figured out and you're kind of already doing it, but then it's just to stay innovative and stay on top of it. What advice would you have to young entrepreneur.
I know. Well, I mean, I think in a world of social media where virality is such an exalted thing, I think honestly what helps business stick around is the opposite of that. And I think, we can focus on things that will go viral, and that's fantastic. And I think that works for certain models, but I think it goes back for me just seeing my parents, because they had one restaurant. It was just our family. We maybe had a few people that helped out, but they were able to succeed with no marketing and no efforts to do anything with pop culture or do specials or anything like that. But people came because they love my family. They love my dad. He had this, he's just a warm person who really loves and cares about you. He's the type of person where if you come in, he knows that you like your iced tea with lemon and 2 ice cubes, So I think ultimately what will yield success is focusing on the people you're serving. And that's not just customers. I think with your team, if you have a team, focusing on your team, serving your team, and making sure that as the person who's in charge of all those people, that you are taking that responsibility very heavily and taking care of the people that are around you. And I think that's really what has led to us. And I know, you can do fun specials and do those things. And I think that's relevant and that's fun. And I think that's in addition to having that foundation. Go ahead and tell them take a message.
See, hey, the work never stops.
The work never stops.
It never
stops.
Who
is calling? Who's calling? Nobody knows that I'm here.
But the work never stops.
It doesn't. It doesn't ever stop. But yeah, I think keeping a pulse on things that are going on is important, but really taking care of the people around you is what's going to lead to long-term success.
Yeah, like before we wrap up, one of the things just I've kind of taken from this conversation is like really to see people, see the value in people, make others feel seen. And I think we are on a good trajectory to do so. But what do you hope for this community, for your business, and for even us at Visit Lex?
My hopes and dreams for Lexington and beyond and our community is that we can find a way to see each other's differences and see and celebrate those things. And I think that has been something that I think as a world community we have struggled with. And so can we find a way that you and I can disagree on this and that, but it doesn't mean that I have to hate you and dislike you as a human, because I think we've seen, especially in disaster type situations, like none of that actually really matters. And that we're all human and we really are just craving connection with other people. So how can we better build those connections, and how can we connect people in that way and build that bridge? And I've always felt like I was a bridge builder in that, sometimes I have to referee one group of people to another, like within our team. It's like, let's build some understanding why they might have done that. And, when they said that, maybe they didn't mean it that way. And so I always feel like I'm trying to always build, have perspective on what the other side might be, so that people have just better understandings of each other. Because I think we're all much more alike on the inside than people realize.
Yeah, like just being solution oriented and seeing, the good. I mean, there's so much uncertainty in the world, not even just right now, but at all times.
All times, yes.
So being able to see each other as people, I think it's super impactful, and it's hard to be upset when you're eating ice cream.
That's true. That helps. If there's a sign downstairs that says ice cream solves everything.
It
so
really does.
I think we can get there.
Yeah, well, thank you, Toa. I think it is time for some ice cream. I love the non-dairy cookies and cream because it's so creamy. Like, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, we have a non-dairy option, which I love sorbets, but like sometimes I want that creaminess.
It's just like
good. It's so good. But thank you for the work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
I can't wait to go eat some ice cream.
I know. We will.
And maybe I'll get into seasonal cones.
It'll be good. It'll be so good. Thank you for being here.
Robbery that turned out bad, could have made it out alive with the love we had, but it's all gone bad and I won't come back, baby, ain't that sad?